The piano, it can be referred to as the king of musical instruments. Enlightening, inspiring, uplifting, infectious. I'm Michael Gibbons. The company name is Pianoman Caribbean, but people usually refer to me as the Piano Man. Some from toddlers would have seen me come to the house, pick the piano apart, fix and leave, and they just know me as Piano Man.
I first met Pianoman, I believe, when I was teaching at the Lord's School. And he tuned the pianos there. He also moved my piano.
One telephone call to Pianoman and says, "This is what I'm doing." Pianoman says, "No problem." We get it right there the next day. So said, so done.
Pianoman used to come in to my school, my old school, and tune the pianos. So I saw him occasionally.
When I was a little boy, knowing about this man, Pianoman, that used to tune the pianos. And he would go around to schools, what's not. And we knew Michael Gibbons as Pianoman.
Our business was founded in 1970. And in 1973, we moved to Painford Street. I set my first workshop up there, and it was go from then. We still have records of those persons that we saw the piano still at that point. Well, Pianoman Caribbean is a family business. A lot of people like it, especially going from one generation to another. So we intend to keep it that way. We're agents for the best brands in the world. We do stock some of them, and we hope to be doing more. We tune, repair, buy, sell, recondition, rebuild pianos. And then, of course, offer accessories and information like piano teachers on our database and so forth. It's the one instrument that has pretty much crossed almost every culture. It's been with us for about 300 years. The piano has its own distinctive, authoritative sound. As far as I'm concerned, it's just special.
For me, the piano is a wonderful instrument. It's an instrument that you can play on your own, you can compose music, you can arrange. And the thing I like most about it is that when I look at the keyboard, I can see the notes. It's something that I don't usually see with the other instruments, but it helps me to visualize and to hear things in my head.
You can't reproduce the tone of a grand piano. A lot of keyboard companies have tried, gotten close, but I think any piano player here will tell you that playing a grand piano is way different.
If you find a great piano, it responds to you and you respond to it, right? There's a symbiotic relationship. And what makes that special for me is that, well, what other instrument is there that you can, apart from like a guitar or something, that you can actually play the whole gamut of orchestrations from things very low to things very high? All volumes, all velocities, all intensities, it all comes from the piano.
If you want beauty in an instrument, then you got it. I go to a house and so I recognize you. You know, like, I recognize you. That's how we did with pianos. I remember things about them, almost as though they're people, but I understand it's just another object. I just work on them. It's just work. But I do remember quite a few things about them.
When I'm playing the piano, it's exhilarating. I guess it's the only place that I allow myself to be vulnerable.
It is probably the greatest outlet for me. I find that music in general actually transcends all the forms of verbal and physical communication. and that words that you aren't able to get across, you can get across the emotions from playing.
It's an instrument that you can exude a lot of emotions from.
It's a bit like a drug. You do get a buzz from doing it, and especially if you're doing it in public.
It's like one of the most embarrassing instruments that you have. You can be very good at it today, you can take a break from being very good at it for a couple of days, come back and it says, you've not been practicing me. And it's very, very, very intimidating. But that in itself makes it also very alluring, because you're always wanting to spend time with it and work on it, and work on the craft.
It really was my technician Fabian and my son Ross. We were talking about, we need to do something. Both of them had similar idea about doing something with pianos. Let's put a lot of pianos in one place.
This project is crazy and it is fantastic.
I would be lost for words, because it's the first time it's being done here in Barbados. It's a glorious project.
10 piano players simultaneously reading the scores and making music like that. You've turned the piano from its own orchestra into an orchestra of orchestras.
To be amidst all these wonderful musicians and really exposing music to us all as a people here in Barbados.
I was looking for persons with a disposition that would want to be in something like this. That was what guided me in choosing the players.
When Mike Gibbons phoned up and said that they were looking for some piano players, obviously I was greatly honoured to be playing with some of these professional musicians who are, let's be honest, much better than me for the most part, and I'm very privileged to work with them. But also it's a great project. It's not very often you get 10 pianos together in one place. And I have to admit, even though it's sometimes chaotic when we're practicing at rehearsals, the sound we get is amazing.
And for me, it's a quite rewarding experience, because it's not often I get to play with another keyboard player, furthermore 8 or 9 other piano players. So that in itself has me really excited about it.
I think it's certainly a unique project.
It brings together something unique, 10 piano players, and 10 exceptional piano players. Some who mentored me at school, Roger Gittins, Andre, Daniel, friends I play with in other bands, Stefan Walcott.
When Mr. Gibbons emailed me and he said there's going to be 10 pianists playing, I was like, that's so cool.
We want to enlighten persons as to what is possible to do with the piano or with pianos. We are also enriching the players' lives. If you talk with them, they are really enjoying this. Everybody is going to be lifted up by this event. It's going to be awesome. Limegrove Lifestyle Centre is a well thought out masterpiece, and the players will enhance the pianos.
The whole ambiance of the venue itself creates something that will be desirous of some person coming to witness 10 pianos.
Limegrove is a very beautiful place.
It's a classy location, in my opinion. So to have an event like this with 10 pianists of such a high caliber, I think is a really appropriate venue.
Well, you can pick several top-class venues in Barbados, and Limegrove would have to be in the top 3. It is an ideal place for this showcase.
What I find about Limegrove is that it has quite a level of class to it and a sense of sophistication. And I find that being able to get that close to 110 fingers right there, I don't think you could do any better than that.
Limegrove is class, and to have 10 pianos upright, our grand pianos, and 10 excellent pianists doing their thing with some great arrangements only heightens the event. So it's a great thing to have it in an environment that lends itself to class.
across a whole set of genres because we have classical, popular, touch of jazz, we have Caribbean, so it's going to appeal to everyone. Bringing the 10 pianists together, I really appreciate their sacrifice, their willingness, and their attitude, and the rehearsal sessions are really nicely charged.
It gives me the greatest pleasure to introduce one of the finest pianists I've seen for a long, long time. Ladies and gentlemen, you have the pleasure of seeing her for the last day of her 7th year. I welcome none other than the glorious Alana Crouch. Playing an instrument gives discipline. To sit down and work on something and eventually get it right and to serve it with eloquence is the ultimate goal. That is the discipline that will carry you through life. It should go with everything that we do. So whether you are going to be a doctor like Mike Krimholz or a lawyer like Nikita Vaughn, these things will serve you well, the discipline of doing that and also enjoying it at the same time.
So although I would like to get more into the contemporary side of things, when I like to just go to the piano and do my thing, I prefer to do more classical stuff.
My style of playing goes from classical to ballad to contemporary, jazz, whatever style I have to learn a genre and I have to play it.
My piano style is very much rooted in the Caribbean. I love Caribbean music in general, from all types, not only English speaking, but also Spanish speaking.
I would define my style of playing as predominantly jazz.
My style of playing is possibly eclectic.
I think I just enjoy playing whatever I play.
Anybody who's thinking of learning to play piano, they say get going.
Find a good teacher. Any one of the 10 you can find if they have the time, and there are many other piano teachers in Barbados.
I suggest to any parent that has a child that you should get them involved in music from very early, because it helps them with their discipline and it also helps them with their academics in the long run.
Contact us. Contact Pianoman if you want to learn to play the piano. They're in contact with a lot of piano players, keyboard players who are very good at teaching.
You can be 2 or 200. The piano is an instrument for you.
Go for it.
As far as the future of Pianoman Caribbean, the name should really say, we intend to go further, making pianos available not only for Barbados, but we are thinking of the Caribbean. That's why Pianoman Caribbean. We want people to come to the Caribbean and say, well, what's going on here? All these pianos down here really in nice shape and sound good, you know? Yeah, that's where we're going. Talk about investment, but you want to know, and it lasts your lifetime, your children, grandchildren play the same piano. If you want beauty in an instrument, then you got it. I think in the end, it's just going to be like balm. Just balm. You just go away from there, just feeling really good.
Ryan Evelyn, Matthew Banfield, Laurie Worrell, Dr. Stefan Walker, Roger Giddens, Dr. Mike Krimholz, Kerry Mason, Alex Evelyn, Andre Daniel in his absence, and the lovely Nikita Vaughn. Alana Crouch. I'm Pernell Farley. Do have a good evening.
When Limegrove started talking to Michael Gibbons and his team, we created an alliance which has become part of the signature of this place of Limegrove. Pianoman has made a difference to the centre, and this evening has taken this difference to a completely new level. I'm sure that everyone will agree when I say that the talent which we have witnessed is not only music to our ears, but is also indicative of how a single experience can influence our appreciation of fine instruments and fine music.
The service from Pianoman was just unbelievable. Anybody remembers 2 years ago, Christmas Eve in Barbados, we had a torrential downpour. And Michael and Eunice had agreed to deliver this piano to our home in St. James while we were at midnight mass. We couldn't get to midnight mass in St. Francis Church because the whole island was flooded and it was just a total disaster. So I was driving up and down the highway thinking, they'll never be able to deliver it, they'll never be able to deliver it. But sure enough, Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus and their 5 sons delivered the piano.
My dad had bought me a second-hand Grand from them to give me for Christmas for 2009. It actually came Christmas Eve night, midnight, and assembled it in my house whilst I was asleep. So I thought to go through all that effort on such a special evening, I mean, my dad and my brother helped as well. And then the next morning I was like, I have no idea how this got here.